saw some fish swimming around out here. All right, I'm using this rod right here. Is so amazing. All right, this is my new favorite rod. Well, hello, buddy. Chunker. Say hello to my friend. The fish in this lake this size, so that's a nice fun bass to catch right there. And this is a pattern that's materializing, is new for me. So, okay, taking a minnow that you would, using for, forward-facing sonar, but went to a lighter head, kind of a bluegill pattern, and fishing around these treetops. But I'm not scoping, I'm just casting now and getting close to these treetops as I possibly can, and just working the minnow kind of fast, and it's working. Now watch him come out and just smoke that thing. These are pre-spawn fish that are staging on tops of these trees. So right now, the afternoon sun, these fish are floating all the way up to the surface and just warming up. But they sit like, literally, they snuggle up right next to these trees, a little tiny bit of shade, that's all they need. I throw a wacky rig up there, and once in a while you'll catch one, but they'll follow it down only so far. So if they don't hit it on the surface, they don't get it. But then a lot of times we're fishing like swim baits over them. It's too big and aggressive. And so now I just, this is, I'm just throwing a little Z-Man jerk shad, a 4-inch. And we're gonna take some of these little isolated bushes, and in Clear Lake, since the drought, all this flooded brush has been in the lake now for the last 5-6 years. And that's where a lot of these fish, because they go from bushes to tules. So when the fish want to spawn, they'll get up on the tules more. But these pre-spawners are just out here floating on this stuff. And I've always used a wacky rig and things like that to catch them. I just happened to be in an area where I knew there were some fish. So I just started casting and just trying to work as close to the treetops as I can and keeping the bait high up in the water column. And lo and behold, I'm usually looking for the back corner of the shade, if it's a dock, and if it's a piling, wherever they feel the most secure, that's where I want to be. So I always look at my shade. Where's my shade? Where's my shade line when I look down the water? So if it's on the left side of the boat, I want to fish the left side of the tree, because that's where the fish will be right now. That's the shady side. If you cast the right side, you're casting into the sun more. And not saying not going to catch one on the sunny side, but these fish really do want to relate to shade. I've been trying to throw swim baits, and from 4-inch to 12-inch stuff, big stuff, and they just have not been eating. And I think because the water clarity is so clear, these fish are really, they're able to look at a bait really well right now. So I think this minnow, you could do a fluke, a weightless fluke, or a soft jerk bait, whatever might be like that. But this is just something that you can fish a little bit faster than a soft jerk bait, because you're not going you're reeling and twitching at the same time and keeping that bait high up in the water column. So, when the water's clear, what we're doing is not conducive for close range fishing. These fish, they see you, they feel you, they know you're there. So, and that's, I guess one of the things I've realized is this rod right here, 7'10". I've been able to cast this little minnow a whole lot further. There we go. There we go. That is a nice little Clear Lake bass. There's one little piece of brush out there, swimming over the top of it. And look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, going over. Oh yeah. Come on, baby, come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Oh, look at this. Look at it spit up a shell. That's a good shad. Those are big shad out here then. That's a shad. And he's eating my little cricket. All right, so there's one little brush top. And I can see just the tip of it, you know, just visually. And I just work it right over the top of that brush top. So there's a little something to this technique, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so this is my modified forward-facing sonar minnow advanced to shallow water blind fishing presentation. I wish I could say that this was something that, you know, was like, oh, I've been doing this for years. No, this is relatively new, and you know, finding that these fish are suspended high up on these treetops and tops of these docks, and they're, you know, they're literally this far below the surface, that far. And all I'm using, so this is my minnow shaking rod. It's a 7'10" spinning rod. It's a 2 power, so it's very light action. It's a Reese fishing. It's the next 2 7102. Any of you know old school flipping sticks? They're all telescopic, and that's where this rod telescopics down. So it comes down to a 6-foot version, though it allows you to get in a rod locker if you have a hard time storing like long rods. So I designed my own carbon fiber handles and reel seats for these. So what I've learned, this longer rod, I can still just battle. I mean, I literally, my biggest limit of my life, I caught a 45.5 pound limit on that rod right there. I caught a 12 1/4, 9 pounders, 9 pounders, 7 pounders. It is amazing how that long rod has worked so good for me. That's a nice little clear leg bass right there. I'm fishing 10-pound braid, 8-pound leader, and I could probably fish 10 or 12-pound test in a lot of these situations as far as the leader material. But today, you know, we're just using, this is a Z-Man 4-inch jerk shad on a 1/8 ounce jig head. I tie it with a loop knot, just try to get a little bit more action. So it's a really subtle finesse power fishing technique that I've learned that has been catching a lot of big fish for me on these situations. So right now I'm just like, I'm trying to keep, I'm fishing the shade. I want to fish the corners or close to the pilings. I believe that, you know, there's fish that they'll definitely suspend out in the open, but I believe they really like to, you know, snuggle up closer to the pilings, you know, especially if there's any current at all. What do I got? I got a big old crappie. Oh, no one. So, it's all good. It was like fight good. He's like a 2-pounder maybe. So that's people are like, I can't believe you just let that go. There we go. Oh, whoa, what do we got there? What do we got there? What do we got here? What do we got here? Man, I thought he was a lot bigger than that, but that was, there we go. Floating up on the piling. I thought that was gonna be a giant, I don't know why, I guess I really don't know how big it is, but I saw him and I thought it was gonna be like an 8 or 10 pounder, but I don't think he is. He thinks he's a big one. Thinks he's a big one. Oh, I guess he's bigger than I thought. Okay. Look at that, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Ah. There we go. All right, that is, I'm telling you, that rod is, that's the deal. I got 10-pound braid, 8-pound leader, little tiny minnow, but I'm not scoping these fish. I'm just fishing the tops of I'm fishing around the pilings, keeping the bait high, and catching fish like that. That fish is pushing 5 right there. So, oh.